I was born and brought up on 17 Gwendolyn Avenue.
Was Allen Park active at that time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it was fantastic. From our house at 17 Gwendolyn, you could look out up in Allen Park, and you could see all these kids on the swings and all that. And it was a fantastic place to grow up.
Remember baseball games up there?
Yeah, in fact, I was bat boy for the Falcons when they first came down from Niagara Falls.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. How did that happen?
Well, I was up there and chasing baseballs, and they said, "You want to be bat boy?" And then I thought I was going to get the job. Well, somebody else got the job when they moved down to the stadium.
Right.
Almost broke my heart, but...
So you would have been bat boy at a time when the owner was Harry Bisgeier.
That's correct.
And one of the players of note was Johnny Newman.
You bet.
What was he like?
He was a fun guy, nice guy. Most of them, you know, they weren't really much older than, maybe 10 years older than I was, but they were nice guys. People were really excited about the Jamestown Falcons. And then, of course, they moved down to East 2nd Street to the stadium. Oh, people went nuts. I can remember going down there, it was 4,500 people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's a lot of people. And they didn't have seating for, you know, they were all just behind a rope all the way around this outfield. Wow. It was amazing.
Remember any of the players at all? Any of the names?
Oh yeah, Frank Smirker. In fact, I ran into him later when I played baseball. When I was in college, I played baseball and came home. And I played with Harry Rizzle and so on. And then we played against Frank Smirker, and that's another story about how they just didn't treat me right. You know, when I was pitching, see, I went home from college, I thought I could wipe these guys out. Huh. They had 480 for 7 feet, I think.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Well, I remember that it was a fall, well, it was late in the fall, obviously, and it was a beautiful, sunshiny day, beautiful day. And so at that age, being our age, our thoughts weren't, we didn't have any comprehension of what it meant to be at war. Nobody did. So a bunch of us, we'd all gather one another together, and down in the gully we'd go and play football. It's football season.
Dad or Mom talking about what just happened, you know, in Pearl Harbor, was that a conversation?
Oh, they talked about it. A lot of times they would talk about things in Swedish. And they thought they were hiding things from me, but I figured out what it was. I had an older brother, Ray. He was in the Marines, and he had basic training in Parris Island. Then he came home and then he was shipped to Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. That was sort of a tough time in my life.
How so? How was that tough?
Well, he came home and then was shipped out to North Carolina, and then he thought he'd be there for quite some time, but he was there in the most rugged training session you can have, preparing to get on the ship and go to, well, Guadalcanal and any one of the... But he had a series of good fortune like nobody should ever have. Ray was a real vocalist. He was likened in the papers many years ago to Nelson Eddy, Igor Goran. You don't know.
Well, Nelson Eddy, I do.
You don't know Igor Goran. Well, he was a Russian baritone, but Ray was likened to all of these guys. And he shipped out and got over to Pearl Harbor, and two of his other friends were over there who were also in show business. And they asked Ray to join them, and they formed a trio and sang with Bob Crosby's orchestra and went all over the Pacific.
So Ray had a chance to entertain the troops.
Oh, he did. That's all he did, fly all over the Pacific, entertaining.
And he was tied in with Bob Crosby?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, all you were waiting for was for it to be over because, after not too long a period of time, everybody got the sense that we were going to kick the whatever out of them. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now may sound a little far-fetched, okay? But you've read about it, I'm sure. We had a hurricane that came through Jamestown. It just ripped everything apart down in Brooklyn Square, that Maddox building and all this. But in the park there, right at the end of, what is Harrison? Would it be Harrison? Or there was a big signboard with all the names of all of these servicemen from Jamestown in there. And that hurricane hit that signboard, and it was shredded all over. And that leads to biggest regrets in this world. Because when the next day when we were going to school down in the high school, walked down through Brooklyn Square, and I hate to do this because I'm admitting how insensitive or stupid I am or something. But in any event, there on the ground was my brother Ray's name off the signboard, and I didn't pick it up.
Oh.
You see why I feel stupid? Even telling you, but I can't forget it,
Now, you were graduated from high school in the class of 46.
Yeah.
And the war at that point was over.
It's absolutely right. The war was over.
And did you feel like you needed to go into service also?
Well, the government had a special program at the time, Greg, which I thought was fabulous. And everybody that wanted to enlist could enlist for 18 months in the Army. And then for that, you would get 30 months of college.
Wow.
And I mean, that's the GI Bill that I remember. All I recall is that, when I went in the Army, they sent me up to the Aleutian Islands. And we worked on actually recovering a lot of our armament and material from the bases up there. And, but one thing that happened while I was there, General Eisenhower made a stop in the Aleutian Islands.
And this is General Dwight Eisenhower.
After you get done with the service and you do 30 months of the GI Bill, having gone to Ryder, you went to Ryder, did you know you'd be coming back to Jamestown?
I was pretty certain because I had unlike my other siblings, I had a real soft spot for Jamestown. And I really wanted to get home where my mother and dad were, and somebody had to take care of them. You must have a positive attitude. I mean, no matter what life deals you. I played a lot of cards. and a lot of them haven't been too good. But you just think somebody like me, who I've had a series of illnesses all my life, and here I am, 89 years old, and I'm still going. Because I have to tell you though, another half hour and it's nap time.